First, it was just one single cancellation. But then this stupid drone hit and my booking calendar emptied overnight. I remember saying to myself, damn, this will be really bad. Hi, my name is Edward and I am an active Airbnb host in Larnaca, Cyprus. And for the last 5 years, I have built up 40 plus short-term rentals and 2 software products around this industry. And today I want to answer the question that I have kept asking myself for the last 4 weeks. Will my business survive the Iran conflict? Okay, let's have a look at the map. I guess many of you haven't even heard about the lovely island that I live on. It is called Cyprus and is located in the Mediterranean Sea. Even though we are a member of the European Union, geographically we are much closer to the Middle East than to Europe. Because of that, we have very warm and steady summers, and that brings many tourists to the island. Cyprus relies heavily on tourism, not only for accommodations, but also restaurants, shops, taxi drivers and tour guides. As you can see, the location gives our tourists the main reason to visit us. And then the Iran war came out of nowhere. What actually happened? For many people, it came as a surprise that the USA and Israel attacked Iran. To be clear, this is not a political video, so anything related to the reasons and the participants of the war is really not my topic today. And yet I'm involved in an existential way. A military drone hit Cyprus territory without us even being involved in the conflict. You might ask the same question anybody else would ask. Why was Cyprus attacked if it was not involved in the conflict? Technically, the drone landed in a very different country. In 1960, Great Britain retained a small part of the island after Cyprus got independent from the British occupants. At this point, it gets important to separate 2 views on that area. The first is that the geographical location of the British bases is on the ground of the island of Cyprus. However, the second view is that politically this area stayed in the ownership of the UK. And they are allowed to do on this area whatever they want, without even asking or informing the Republic of Cyprus. Random seeming attacks were started around the Middle East area. So when this drone hit the British bases, nobody knew what would happen next. And that emptied my booking calendar March through August, basically overnight. I remember saying to myself, damn, this will be bad. Many flights got cancelled and tourists that already planned to come didn't feel safe to travel anymore. And this is still going on until now. Easter is traditionally the beginning of our season, and for me it is the first profitable month of the year. I'm looking forward to it already from November on, as the winter season creates a seasonal loss for me. My business model is in one sentence called Airbnb arbitrage, where I rent apartments long-term, renovate and furnish them, and sublet them short-term for a profit on platforms like Airbnb or Booking.com. But no matter how much revenue I make, rent still has to be paid every month. I employ 9 full-time employees and as many part-timers who get salaries on time as well. Naturally, the savings that I always put aside in the summer came slowly to an end. So how did I react? I noticed how the booking pattern changed. Away from 3 to 7 nights to 1 or 2 nights on a short notice. I quickly removed the 3-night minimum restriction and started to lower the prices significantly. You know, supply and demand. And it still feels wrong to say that, but I was pretty lucky in another matter. My wife and I were planning to buy a house for us, and we were just one single signature away from making the deal. The price was finally negotiated and our lawyers had the sales contract ready for signing. But the seller needed more time, and eventually we decided to pause the purchase. To save my business, I took the money for the down payment of the house and put it back into the business. But for how long will it last? And that brings me to the answer of my question from the beginning of this video. Will my business survive the Iran conflict? The answer is most likely yes. Unless the conflict escalates significantly or reaches Cyprus in a more direct way, we will eventually overcome this period. Similar to past crises, people get tired of those news and get back to their trust in a travel destination that is even not involved in the conflict of the Middle East. Things will normalize again, and for the summer, my bank account will recover. We will see what the future brings, but I'm always optimistic. And if you don't want to miss how this will end for me, you're welcome to give this video a like and subscribe to my channel. You can follow my journey on a weekly basis if you want to hear deep and honest insights from my Airbnb business. You will find out more about my Airbnb software and get insights into my day-to-day business. Thank you for watching the video and see you very soon.